Backyard Bothy. Another banger. I like these guys. They're right, eh? Brumbies cold while National Park cleared. They always say it's for one reason. Wait another 6 months and you find us for something else. Every time. I'm not talking about backyard bothies. I'm talking about the government. They're full of shit.
The New South Wales Government has okayed the culling of brumbies in New South Wales with the aim to reduce the total of brumbies from 10,000 to just 3,000.
And today we ask why.
3, 2, 1.
They say that brumbies are being culled in Kosciuszko National Park to protect its fragile alpine ecosystem from severe environmental degradation, to save native wildlife habitats, waterways and wetlands from being trampled and polluted. The brumbies are said to cause soil erosion, collapse riverbanks and damage endangered, vulnerable native species like the corroboree frog and the mountain pygmy possum. So the Brumby Bill, legislated to protect against culling of brumbies in 2018 in Kosciuszko Wild Horse Heritage Act, was repealed in late 2025. The New South Wales Government removed laws that protected the brumbies from their heritage value and reclassified them as feral pests.
So they've gone from being
Protected,
heritage
listed,
to feral.
feral pigs,
It's like,
feral pests.
when are they going to get these things right, man?
No, they don't.
How often do they I mean, rabbits came in for the foxes because the gentry wanted to hunt the foxes and like what they did in Britain. Then they bring the cane toad in to kill the locusts. But the locusts are too high for the cane toad to get to, so now everything that touches or kills the cane toad gets poisoned themselves. That's just two I can think of. When are they going to actually go, just before we do this, let's have a look and see what could happen. Where could it go wrong? Did they do that?
No.
Apparently not.
No, definitely not.
They don't know how to manage their own systems.
This bill was supported by the Labor Party, the Liberal Party, and your favourite party,
The Greens.
the Greens. After being introduced to Parliament by independent Wagga Wagga MP, Dr. Joe McGurr, he advocates for evidence-based wildlife management, and his claims are strongly backed by environmental and conservation groups. But the evidence looks questionable at best.
Always looks questionable with this mob.
It does. It's fair to say that from 2018 to 2025, there was no meaningful management of the brumbies in the national park, and the population, if you believe the government, has exploded.
But they can't even tell you how many are there.
They can't. It's somewhere between 10 and 16,000.
16,000.
Ridiculous, man. Authorities, with the support of the RSPCA, have turned to aerial shooting to solve the overpopulation, a method seen by many as cruel and ineffective when compared to the alternatives. Penny Sharp, the New South Wales Environment Minister, has been accused of lying by overstating the number of brumbies in the first place and by making what some thought of as assurances that aerial shooting would not be the preferred method used, then introducing that as the preferred method.
I can't believe the RSPCA went along with this.
Yeah. I can't believe that a government minister would lie.
Isn't that pretty much all they do?
When you think, okay. When you think about the donkey sanctuary, where the donkeys were all being looked after by them, and they confiscated all the donkeys, had nowhere to put them, so they euthanized them all. They took healthy donkeys from a donkey sanctuary and euthanized them all just to take them off somebody. $100 that was for land acquisition. Had nothing to do with the donkeys. $100. It was an island, by the way. The RSPCA were the ones that did it.
Dude.
We don't live in New South Wales, but if we did live in New South Wales and we asked anybody, everybody would say, Penny Sharp, liar. She's the New South Wales government's elbow, mate.
Yeah.
Libo, sorry.
Yeah, libel.
Libo and easy.
Introducing Grammarly, like you've never seen before. Your all-in-one writing essential. This is Pure.
So there's no doubt that these are beautiful animals that hold a very special place in Australia's history, in its heritage, in what makes Australia, and in particular the high country, so special. There are strong arguments on both sides when it comes to how many is too many, just as there are strong arguments on both sides as to what to do with the overpopulation. But we're pretty sure shooting them out of a helicopter is a last resort.
Well, I mean, I know a few hunters, and to kill them outright, preferably, you shouldn't be moving. And they shouldn't be moving either. Now, if there's a helicopter above a horse, what's the horse going to be doing?
Running.
Yeah. So not only are they moving, but the horse is moving. How many do you reckon they're going to kill outright? Not a hell of a lot.
Not immediately.
And they're going to be dying in agony. It's just how the RSPCA.
All right. Coming from someone who's had my firearms licence taken off me 3 times, who's been shooting since I was 9. He's never actually done anything wrong with a firearm, and never at risk of ever doing it. It's only ever been over dumb shit. Just cops being cops, you know. Gotta get that gun. Gotta get that gun. Gotta get that. Fucking why? Right? Most cops couldn't shoot the side of a barn with a banana yelling pew pew from 5 foot. When it comes to purpose, when you're applying to purchase a firearm, right, and you're getting your license, and to purchase a firearm, you have to state the purpose for which you are going to use that firearm. You have to be able to reasonably explain why you want that caliber, and that comes up. There's also laws under what you can use to shoot what. Rabbits. You're not allowed to, here in Tasmania, when I done my licence, you wouldn't know with the government. It could change like a barn door that's broken, it swings in the wind. Same barn that you can't shoot with a banana. When I done my licence, had to be shot with a shotgun. Why? Under the Humane Hunting Act set by RSPCA. Because you can graze rabbits because they run past and they're small. And they're, right? That's if they don't squat under the spotlight. Certain calibers for certain jobs. You can't shoot deer. You can't hunt anything with a bow in Australia under the Humane Hunting Act. Again, set by RSPCA. So wouldn't you think that trying to shoot something as flighty as a horse out of a helicopter would be classed as inhumane under the Humane Hunting Act? Just a observation of obvious points.
Can go along with this and sign off on it is beyond me.
Yeah, I agree. So from what we've seen, this is cruel, heartless. It's a terrible way to treat these horses. Once shot, they're left to decompose where they fall. They're not even removed from the putts. They're just left there. That's once they died, of course, as you say. They're not dying immediately. Reports suggest that it can take days for these horses to pass. There are strong arguments for more rehoming programs and fertility.
Right, it's like this. Why aren't you allowed to hunt with a bow in Australia? Because you shoot something with a bow and it runs off with an arrow in it. And there are stories that I've heard of old hunters that have bumped into the same kangaroo that they winged weeks, months later with gangrene and fly blown hanging off them. Because they didn't die. And they go up and they die an agonising death that could take weeks, even months. Not just hours or days. And I have to prove that I'm a fit and proper person to get my firearms licence back. What the fuck? I'm not going to be able to do it. I'll never get it back. Stop taking up every argument under the sun. You want to be a pain in the ass? I'll show you a pain in the ass. I'll give you one.
Control. But this hasn't been initially taken into consideration. The consideration is let's just get up in the air and shoot them.
Yes, it's not right.
It's not. At the end of the day, if we are the custodians of this planet, we need to be better at caring for all animals and all aspects of life on this planet. If the total number is 16,000 in the park, deal with that number in a humane and compassionate way. Don't deal with the problem by shooting from a helicopter or turning a blind eye to poachers entering the park. So the park's closed.
Yeah.
And certain horses that were deemed protected, even as brumbies, are showing up dead. And the people from helicopters saying, oh, it wasn't us, must be poachers. Well, how are the poachers getting in there?
Yeah.
If the park is shut and you and I want to go in there for photography reasons,
No.
can't be done. But poachers with a long arm can go in there no problem.
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense, does it?
It doesn't, mate. But with all these things, mate, if you scratch the surface, there are more nefarious things at hand.
Yeah. It does appear to be what's going on, eh?
Exactly right. So we have scratched the surface a little because we seem to have a standoff between what's best for the environment and what's best for the brumbies. Dig a little bit deeper, and there is a third element in all of this. In 2006, a policy was introduced that stated that all transmission lines were to be placed underground in the Kosciuszko National Park.
Which would have been a superb idea.
Brilliant idea. However, in 2022, the then Liberal government changed this to above ground.
To save a few bucks.
To save a few bucks. So the transmission lines for Snowy 2.0 will now run above the ground through the Kosciuszko National Park.
Superb.
This has seen Transgrid clear 300 acres of the national park for transmission lines, 10 kilometres long by 120 metres wide. This is said to have caused massive permanent damage to the national park. We have seen mounds of dead koalas.
Just what we're looking at here. What do you reckon you're looking at? Where do you reckon you're looking? God, I can't remember the name of the actress. She was huge in the day. That is where they filmed, and this is where the story of a real man who was written about by Banjo Patterson, the man from Snowy River, comes from. The Snowy Mountains. Man, this place is iconic.
Well, it's piled up against rocks, but we're not going to show them on our channel. When someone sent me the photos and I saw them, I thought it was a bunch of rabbits piled up.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it was koalas.
That's insane. And isn't that an endangered species?
Yeah.
And you're not allowed to kill them?
Unless you're knocking their trees over it. They're falling over and you're bashing them on there with a hammer.
Yeah.
Then it's okay.
Yeah.
Talk about make you sick. So it would seem that the environment is not first and foremost when it comes to the Kosciuszko National Park. And we all know what happens when transmission lines come along, don't we, mate?
Yeah. Wind turbines.
Yeah.
Here's a cracking World Cup offer from Sportsbet. Add an in-time goal scorer to your same-game multi, and if they have the first shot of the match, we'll settle that leg as a winner, even if they miss. Only with Sportsbet.
What's gambling really costing you?
Don't know, but you just triggered somebody with a gambling addiction. Triggers people. We were talking about that earlier today on the Anne Bressington video I did. Go and watch it.
So here are where the new transmission lines are going. We recently highlighted the Bookham Wind Power project that will attach itself to transmission lines incorporating Snowy 2.0. And now we introduce to you the Bondo Wind Power project on the border of the town of Tumut, nestled into the very pine plantation territory that provides the town with ongoing employment. Tumut has a population of 6,500, and the pine plantation and associated business employs 1,000 people. But now a 1.2 gigawatt project that includes 164 towers standing 300 metres
300
tall,
meters. Oh, God.
as well as over 200 container-sized batteries, is being planned just 30 kilometres from Snowy 2.0 to connect with those overhead power lines. Now, the wind project is not going in the Kosciuszko National Park, but it's going only 2 kilometres from the northern tip. So it's very close to it, mate.
Yeah, that will look really good.
You'll be able to see it clearly from Tumut. They're going to lose that magnificent vista. And it's going right in amongst the pine plantation.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to clear a whole lot of the pine plantation, which is going to affect jobs. And we all know that long term, how many jobs do wind tower plants provide?
Very few.
Stuff all
Very
over.
few.
Someone that comes and does a little bit of weeding or spraying or
Security.
secure.
And the same with the data centres that they're going to power. Mariners admit to me, when it comes to the IT jobs that they're supposed to be generating, they're temporary. You go and do an IT course at TAFE, you go in and you program the data centres, basically training up the AI, and then once that's done, nearly everyone goes. It's just a skeleton crew, probably 15 to 20 people statewide to maintain the data centres. It'll probably generate more security jobs than IT jobs, because every data centre needs security there 24/7.
Security every month or two. Cleans up the dead birds from underneath them. It's no doubt just one of the many more to come as international renewable corporations recognise this high wind zone as another way to leach hundreds of millions of dollars out of the Australian taxpayers' coffers. Because that's what happens.
That always happens, doesn't it?
Every single time. So it makes you wonder, was the culling of the Brumbies related to transmission lines construction in any way? Or is it just a coincidence, mate?
Well, you know as well as I do, we've been looking at this for a while now, and there are no coincidences, are there?
Exactly right. When they changed the law in 2022, they would have known that they were about to rip out a whole lot of the national
Of course
park.
they would. Of course they would. There's nothing surer.
So clearing the transmission lines and killing the Brumbies at the same time.
It's a win-win. It's like get two out with one stone.
Yep. They're not going to have these Brumbies running wild through where they're trying to clear. At the end of the day, there has to be a better way to manage the Brumby situation. There has to be a way to rehome them, to care for them, to nurture them. There are many volunteers willing to assist, to take and care for these horses. They are a part of our nation's folklore. They carried our troops in wars. They're featured in the opening ceremony of the Sydney Olympics. Now we gun them down from helicopters, mate.
Well, I mean, there was 40,000 taken during World War One across to Palestine and Egypt. And unfortunately, a lot of them died in the battlefield. And then the ones that didn't die, they had to leave them there.
Yeah.
So pretty sad, actually.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, those were horses they grew up with.
They were horses.
They were their own horses.
Those soldiers loved those horses.
About 20,000 of them had to remain there.
Yeah.
Man, love those horses. There are horses that had, like, purple hearts. And I'm really crying, actually. I think I'm going to. Because when you start talking about World War and stuff, it touches home pretty hard with me. Nanny and Grandad. Now, Bravery Awards? I can't remember his name. What was his name? Was it a Gallipoli? I think he had a donkey or something. He was an Australian soldier, and he saved so many soldiers wounded on battle, and he just kept riding in and bringing them back over the back of his donkey. You know, like, come on. You technocrats wouldn't fucking get it. You just wouldn't get it. You have no value for life whatsoever. You're sick.
Exactly right. And as the world watches on in shock, we find yet another way to bring our culture and heritage undone. Australia is really, really good at making ourselves look stupid to the world, unfortunately. We do it a lot. Right. And this is another example, mate. Animals are to be treated with respect, but not in Australia. We just start shooting them, be it kangaroos, be it whatever. And we're talking about 16,000 horses. We're not talking about a plague of 1 million horses like we've got with other animals. We can rehome them. We can give them sanctuary. Yeah. I don't understand why we have to shoot them.
I know. It doesn't make any sense, does it?
It doesn't. It doesn't at all. So please stop the madness and find a compassionate, caring solution for our Brumbies to continue living the lives that they live now. And if you're in New South Wales, please sign the petition to halt the aerial culling of Brumbies. There's a link in the description. And I'd like to thank those that have reached out to us about the Brumbies. Carmen, what you're doing is absolutely brilliant. We love your work. We love your little videos. They're absolutely fantastic. And it's great to see that there are sanctuaries being set up for these horses and everybody that's doing great work. You know, there's journalists out from America watching what we're doing and describing Australia as some third world disaster area.
The brutality of it all.
It's just horrendous. So, it's time to wake up and treat our heritage listed animals as they were before late last year as just that.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, check out Backyard Bothy, guys. Go and like and subscribe and all that stuff with them. Serious, share them around. They're actually having a crack. I've never heard them ask for any money yet. I've never heard them thank anyone for donations a million times either. That's why I've clicked on with these guys. Unlike some others we could name. But I won't. I've done that many times. You know what I'm on about. I'll continue to keep emailing with these guys, and I'll keep continuing to make like my views and commentary on what they've got to say. Because guess what? It's not a case of just looking for an echo chamber that I align with. I look for what's moral, what's right. Which is why I've changed so much over my lifetime, from whom I was to whom I've been at other various times in my life to where I am now. And everything that's ever happened in my life has brought me to where I am now. A pain in the ass. It's staggering. It's staggering that we have to jump through all these hoops and tick all these boxes to prove that we're not going to do that. But that's okay for corporations and companies. The government turns a blind eye to it. People turn a blind eye to it. If we do it, we go to jail. I'm not even kidding. Animal cruelty under the Humane Hunting Act will send you to prison. It'll cost you a lot of money. Look at what happens to farmers that don't treat their cattle right. What more evidence do you need to finally realise that we're not included in their future? We're in the way. Perhaps we need to not include their agendas in our future. They're in the way, and so we go a different direction. So they're not in the way. And we stop funding them. Stop. Stop working for them. Stop supplying them. They haven't got a clue how to do it themselves. Stop building their shit. Slumdog Millionaire on a two-stroke. I mean, this rubbish and protesting and carrying on. Where's it got us? The idea of protest is create the protest so that we can implement this legislation, because now we beat it into people's heads that legislation is law. And every time you try to have that conversation with anybody, it's like a doll with a string in its back. Government legislated it into law. The government legislated it into law. Right, and that's their apparently that's logic. No, that's do as I said because I said. Do this, what? Because I said. Because I'm government and I say. The only authority they have is that which we allow them to have. As a collective, we need to pull our collective heads out of our backside and realise that they actually don't have any. None at all. Especially, look, we've gone over this a million times. They are immoral. They are amoral and immoral. And being amoral, neither here nor there, is immoral. They have no morals. They don't care about right, they care about right now. What do I do right now? Either A, to get myself out of trouble, or B, to get myself rich, or C, both of the above. How do I make this go away? Doesn't have to be right, it's just right now. I don't go away. Couldn't if I tried. It's not in my DNA. I've learned a lot of things in my life. Come back down here. I've made a lot of mistakes in my life and learned a lot of lessons from them. And you know what one of those lessons have been? It's kind of like that picture of the bloke that gave up digging his mine just before he broke through and found all the gold, and somebody else came along, threw a rock at it, and all the gold fell out. Don't give up. Don't quit. I thought I was going to die once. I was very, very, very sick. And you know what made me worse? I accepted it. I gave up. And my son with autism looked at sat sitting on the floor when he was little, turned around and looked at me like, my God, my dad's gave up. The look on his face said it all. It was like God yelled at me. He said, get up! You said you could sit down and give up in front of your son. He's got autism. Do you ever see him give up? Yeah, nah. Sorry, it's not okay for me to give up, ever. Ever. I'll be dead and I'll still be running. Love your work, guys. Thank you, too. Thank you.